What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 2 Expert. Oh yeah, guys. So today we are going to go into space and we are going to look at hooking up our space station. And if we have time, we might be able to get to another planet. I'm not really sure how long this is all going to take. Last episode, we went into the advanced rocketry section and we made the space station assembler and completed some of these quests. There's probably a few more quests that we should take a look at. But at this point, we can go into space and go to our space station and launch our rocket. Yeah, so last episode, we ended up making a satellite bay. We made a satellite. We made the satellite chip. We should be pretty much ready to go here. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to just get on our rocket. Well, first of all, we're going to make sure the destination is selected. So it says none selected. Okay, so we have space station ID chip in there. So it should be going to our space station. Whoa, let's get back over here. If we look at the guidance computer, yeah, space station 1. Station 1 is where we're going. And then in the satellite bay here, we do have a space station container. So really what should happen when we launch up into space, it should deploy our space station, and we just have like a 5x5 platform. It's nothing fantastic. Our rocket should end up landing on there. And from that point forward, we should be able to do things that we need to do. Now, all of our suit here does have airtight seal on there, which is required to be in space. So that'll use our oxygen or O2 bar right here so we don't suffocate. And then we can also set a home point on our space station so we can warp to and from the overworld should we need to. Okay, so I think we're about ready to go. Says press space to take off. Destination station 1. Let's do it. So we got T-minus 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Now, never mind the fact that there's no nose cone or anything to protect me and I'm just at the top of this rocket on a seat. It's fine. Everything is perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Isn't this how all space travel works? I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, guys, I'll see you when we get to space. Press space to descend. Auto descend at 20. Well, let's just do it anyway. So that's Minecraft right now. So the planet is in fact flat. Yep, it's not curved at all. You can see the edges of it. So Minecraft world is in fact flat. We are descending. You can kind of see on the mini map there's a little box around our center thing that, yeah, it deployed our 5x5 space station that we made last episode. And we're just kind of slowly sinking down on top of it. I could probably get off this rocket and go there faster, maybe. Actually, I'm not sure. We are descending quite quickly, but it is kind of glitchy how the rocket jumps around like that. Whoop. Hey, you can see the sun. So where are we at? We're at Y200, 150-ish. Yeah, so we should be landing on our space station here pretty soon. There we are. Press space to take off. Destination Earth. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So we get off the rocket and now we are in space. Yeah, I'm not sure if you jump off into the void here, if you actually just go to the overworld, what happens? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. But what I want to do is start building ourselves a space station. Yeah, we want to enclose it. We want to use the CO2 scrubbers and our carbon collection cartridge and all this kind of stuff. I did bring some blocks with me so we can do a little bit of building here. So we have a bunch of quartz blocks and some light blue streak stained glass. Pretty much the same construction materials that we've used for the main base. I'm going to go ahead and start building a thing here and we will continue on. Alright guys, so I've been doing just a little bit of building here, nothing too special. So this is our original 5x5 structure. I went out 13 blocks on every single side. So now we should have a 31 diameter circle here. Yeah, so that's what we're looking like. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in all the areas that need to be filled in, because obviously we're not going to leave it just a circle like that, because that's kind of weird. We want this all filled in to be, what's the button for this thing? There we go. No? Is it M? N? Oh boy, why can't I figure out the button to do the Better Builders one? Did that change on me? Maybe that changed on me because I've updated the pack. That's probably got to be what's going on here, right? So options, controls, we want wand, category, change mode M. So what else is set to M? key, M. I think we got something else. Material list. Get out of here. Item, mode, switch. Okay, so that should fix it. I should be able to do this now. M. Ah, okay. Yeah, it wasn't letting me do that a second ago. Okay, yeah, we'll just set that to no lock and just bring this all the way down. That should be exactly what we want, provided I have enough quartz blocks on me. It might not have enough for all this. We'll see. It's looking kind of cool on the mini map there. Almost a 3D effect. Okay, and like so. Cool. All right, so there is the bottom platform. And then we got to do the same thing for the top. It's going to be a little bit more involved since it's not just open like the bottom one was, but that's fine. We can do it just like this and get all these done. So yeah, we're going to leave the rocket so it lands on the top here. And then we'll be inside this area. Yep, got plenty of room to work around and do things and set up our warp controller and all sorts of craziness like that. We should be pretty much good to go. And then I need to go ahead and add the glass around the outside here to wall this thing all in. But yeah, anyway, I'll go ahead and finish up the rest of this and then we'll continue on, guys. All right, guys, so we have the entire space station completely enclosed, right? I had to add in glowstone. If you place torches down, well, I was placing them down. They were like going out before. I'm not sure why they're not doing that now. That's fantastic. Did I have a hole to the outside before? Okay, well, I'm not sure what the deal is. I was placing torches down. They weren't illuminating anything, and it was like they were turning off. So I replaced where I was going to place torches with glowstone. Yeah, anyway. So now that we have light in here, we have this place completely sealed off, we can look at doing an oxygen vent. Now, I probably want to place this close to the center of the area here. Yeah, because this thing is supposed to do like a range. It's not supposed to fill in all enclosed space. So I kind of want that here. We want the CO2 scrubbers on either side. And then we want the carbon collection cartridges in there. Yep. Okay, so this thing needs power and it needs the liquid oxygen. Okay, so now if I right click on my wireless thing, it says wireless out of range, but it still works. I think that might be some kind of a bug with us changing dimensions or something. Like we're in the same spot we were in the overworld where my thing worked. I don't know. But anyway, it still works, so we're going to use it. So from here, we want to get ourselves some kind of a conduit. So we need an ender fluid conduit so we can pipe in the liquid oxygen. And I so happen to have brought in our oxygen supply from the overworld that we got from the advanced rocketry mod itself. So we will do an extract, always active, and this will be an insert. And if we look in here, we now have oxygen, so we also need to give this thing power, so we'll grab ourselves a flux point. All right, like so. Cool. So now we have power and we have oxygen. So this whole place should now be theoretically filled with oxygen, I think. I don't think there's anything else special I need to do here. I don't think so. If I click this button, is it doing anything? That's not doing anything. So how do I tell if we have oxygen or not? If I take off my spacesuit? Oop. Okay, so that's not working. So why is this not working? Redstone control disabled. Ah! I guess it was looking for a lever or something. Well, it sounds like it's doing something now. So if I take off my helmet? Okay, we're good. Does that work for this entire area? Oh, very good. It seems to. Okay, I was thinking like maybe the far reaches of the base or something wouldn't be close enough. Like it does a sphere and we're just slightly outside that range, but it looks like we're good. All right, so that's fantastic. I'll just leave my helmet on anyway. And then we also have our charge pad thing. We've been bringing this with us ever since we went to the moon, where we can fill this up full of O2 and we can fill up our oxygen thing. So I guess we could place this around here too and have that thing filled up. Let's do insert. Okay, and then this thing also requires power. I guess there's not really a good way for me to do this. Let me move this thing here. There, so now it's getting power and it's gonna get the oxygen. Let me grab a wrench. We need a Yeta wrench, right? Yeta. Shift left click up, and we want to do insert. Okay, so we should be fine. Actually, it might have been okay without me doing that. So if I get on top of this thing, Well, our O2 is full, so I think we're okay. Now, this thing actually doesn't have a power. It doesn't show in here that it needs power, so maybe it doesn't need power at all. It says 00 FE. This thing does connect to it, but yeah, there's no power bar, so maybe you don't need power for that thing to work. This thing obviously does. Well, anyway, so this is our space station. We're able to be here. We're not using our oxygen anymore. And then up on the very top is where our rocket is, so we can launch back to wherever we want to go from our rocket. But I don't necessarily know that we need to do that. So now that we have this all set up, I think it probably make a lot of sense if we set a home point here. We'll call this space station. Commit, lock it. There you go. Cool. So now we can go home. And if we want to go back to the space station, we can go to the space station. Perfect. All right, so that's really cool. So now we can go back and forth, no problem. So we should probably look at continuing on with our quests here. I know we still have some more, like we need to make the warp core, and then we have to make a warp controller, and then that should allow us to go to like different planets and stuff. Now I think in advanced rocketry there is, I'm not sure the way the mod's set up in this pack, if we have to like research to find other planets or if they're all just unlocked by default. So we'll have to figure all of that out as well. So let's go back to the overworld and we'll look at making what was it again? Go back to advanced rocketry. This thing, the warp core. So warp core, titanium blocks, gold, machine structure, and input hatch. So if we look at a warp core, warp core, we need titanium plates, advanced circuit, steel plates, copper coil. That's all pretty easy stuff. Let me go ahead and get everything together for all of this. Titanium block, how are we doing on titanium? All right, I'll tell the system to craft like 200 of that. Ooh. Oh, that's just salt? We have plenty of salt down here. We just don't have it hooked up to applied energistics. So let me grab a few stacks of salt out of... Where is it? Right here. Yeah, we got all of this salt here. Grab a bunch of this, and we can throw that into our applied energistic system, and we should be okay. So titanium. Again, I'll tell it to craft like 200 or so. Yep, we'll just go ahead and craft up all of that stuff, and then we will continue on, guys. All right, guys, so we got all the parts available here for our warp core multi-block, and there's the warp core itself. So we have made the advancement warp. Oh yeah. So now that we have that done, we can claim our loot chest here, pop it, and we get ourselves some scaffold. Okay. Spruce planks that are chiseled to be scaffolding. All right, anyway, so now that we have that done, gravity controller. The gravity controller lets you control the gravity of your space station. Well, that sounds pretty interesting. This isn't necessarily something we need to do, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. So a station gravity controller. So this requires not a lot of stuff, actually. That's rather inexpensive. Okay, easy. So quest complete. Yep. All right, so we'll claim that loot chest, and we get ourselves ice blocks, more chiseled blocks. Cool. So station gravity controller, if we place that down, artificial gravity, max gravity change rate, target gravity. Oh, and you can adjust it by just clicking in here like so. I see. So we need to place this onto our space station, and I guess next to our power supply. Whoops. Space station. I guess we can just put it right here. Oh, you know what? It doesn't appear that it requires any power. So if we put it into this area, artificial gravity, looks like that's increasing. And max gravity change rate, 0.1. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything to make that go faster or not. So I assume that's going to make it so we can't jump as high as that gets closer to the green area. Yeah, it already looks like we're not jumping as high anymore. If I put this down to here, does that make it so we jump a lot lower? I'm not actually sure how this thing works. But it looks like we're jumping higher and higher. So I guess we want it kind of closer to the center here, the green, huh? Yep. Okay, well, I'll play around with that. I was kind of expecting, like, if you put it all the way down one side, you wouldn't be able to jump at all. If you put it all the way up to the other side, that you'd be able to, like, have, you know, jump boost or whatever. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. It's not something that we really need here. And I don't know, maybe having multiple of those would like increase the effect. Anyway, so moving on from there, the next thing is the warp controller. So the warp controller is used to set the destination of your space station. Okay, so warp controller. This thing requires more stuff. Can we craft that all here? It looks like our wireless thing works. That must be some kind of a bug. User interface. Oh, craft that. We're missing lime dye. Okay, I think we should be able to do. Let's bookmark this before we go further. Okay, so lime dye, DYE, should be craftable. Yeah, from our dye essence. I just don't have a pattern for that. I don't know why that didn't go in here, but we'll do it this way. There we go. Now we got plenty of lime dye. So user interface, craft this guy. What else did we need here? Steel plates, control, circuit board, 2 of those. 4 steel plates. We can craft those up real easily. Anything else? We already have that. And then advanced circuit. I'm pretty sure we are out of those because I used the last 2 of those on the gravity controller. Okay, so we should be good. As soon as everything is crafted up, we should be able to make this thing. None of these things are shift clicking into here. Is it because our wireless is out of range? I'm actually not sure. Steel plates. Well, let's grab those. Control circuits. We'll grab those. Advanced circuit. Yeah, we can grab these guys. It's got to be because they're out of range that doesn't work. User interface. And finally, we need machine structure. Okay, so now we have everything. If I do this, it still doesn't work. Weird. It wants me to put them all in there manually. Fine. There we go. Warp controller. Now we got it. Cool. So warp controller quest is done. So we'll do the top blue chest. Pop it. Quest complete, prosperity ore. End rod. Do we complete more quests than that? Oh yeah. Prosperity ore, dimensional shard ore, mana infused ore. Okay, so we'll take this one, and this one. Okay, so we get some brewing stand, or 1 brewing stand, some soul beads, just 1, and sturdy casings. All right, so nothing like super fancy. So warp controller, we're gonna have to put somewhere. I'm just gonna put it down here for now. So it says that we're orbiting Earth and our destination is Earth. So we can select planet, planet list. Oh, now we have a list of things available here. How do I scroll to different planets? I'm using my mouse wheel. It doesn't work. If I... Oh man, select planet, planet list. Yeah, not sure how this thing works. Like if I'm clicking and dragging, I drag all of this around. I guess I can click the planets directly. Mercury, Neptune. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I would expect that I should be able to like click and drag this thing, but it's not letting me do that for some reason. Up. That's too bad. Okay, well, it looks like we can go to any planet. So we need to figure out which planet it is that we want to go to. And then I think we also have to set up this warp core, which should be available by us doing one of these things. So let's go figure out where that is. Warp core. Okay, so hollow projector. Oop, if I right click. Where do we want this? Maybe up here? So it looks like this is just going to be a 3x3 thing. So let's put our warp core here. This is the block of gold. Titanium blocks. Titanium, titanium, titanium. All right, so it's going to be at least 1 more layer tall. So if I shift scroll, let's do this one. All right, so machine structure. All right, and this one is another block of gold in the center. Awesome. And then we do this, so more titanium. And then this is an input hatch. This is where you put in your dilithium, I believe. Okay, so if I right click on this, cool. So now we have a warp core. So it'd make more sense if we brought this guy over here, a warp controller, nearby our warp core. I think that makes more sense. Okay, so we are gonna have to feed in some dilithium. And we have a bunch of dust here. So if I put in just about 2 stacks, don't I have to do something else with this? I'm not entirely sure. If we look, this says nowhere to go, select planet, planet tracking. Okay. So the first planet that we should go to, let's take a look. If we go back to this angel site, whatever this is called, Enigmatica Calathrate, and we look at where this spawns, so Mercury. All right, so let's set a destination of Mercury. Mars, Mercury. If I double click it. Yep, so we're selected on Mercury, so I can click select. So it says orbiting Earth, destination Mercury, fuel cost 137. So we currently have, I'm not sure if that's enough actually. We should go pulverize the rest of our dilithium so we have plenty of fuel available, and then put it here in our space station so we can get around to these different planets. Let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll continue on. So one of the things I forgot to do is we need to take that dilithium dust, and then we have to crystallize it into dilithium crystals. So I have that running through our crystallizer here. So we're inputting dilithium dust. Yep, and we are outputting the dilithium crystals. So I told it to craft up a bunch of them, but I don't think it's quite done all the ones that I wanted to do yet. Yeah, I told it, well, yeah, let's see. We have 630 dilithium dust here. Actually, that's kind of weird because I told it we had like 7,000 dilithium dust. I just told it to craft up 7,000 of the dilithium crystals, and we have not quite that amount yet. So I don't know where the rest of them are. Maybe they're just in the crafting storage. That's got to be where they are, just waiting to be processed right now. So anyway, I am trying to speed this process up a little bit using our time in a bottle here. And this can run while we're doing other things, but yeah, at this point, we kind of need to wait for some of these dilithium crystals to be made so we can, in fact, warp around. But at this point, we should have plenty of these. We only needed like, was it less than 200 to go to Mercury? So yeah, I think that's all we need to do. So I'm going to grab those, put them into, oh, there we go. There's an advancement. Put them into our basic drawer here, put an upgrade, and we'll just keep that full on our space station. Cool. So let's go back, space station, and we should just be able to put this guy right here. So yeah, we have nothing in the input hatch. So if I grab like a stack of those and I put those into here, yeah, they immediately go away. So now this has some fuel and it should be able to do something. So I will just turn this thing on, always active. It'll just keep pumping in dilithium crystals, and as we need more, we can see right here how many we have left. And yeah, it'll just keep piping them in. Cool. So now if we go to our warp controller, we have destination Mercury set. Fuel cost 80. I guess we're getting closer to Mercury, so it's costing less and less as we move around. Anyway, let's just go ahead and click warp. Cool. Looks like we got stars going through our spaceship. Don't worry about that. That's perfectly fine. So yeah, we are warping to Mercury. I think this takes about a minute or two, so I'll see you when we get there. All right, guys, so we are here at Mercury. That's what it looks like. All right, so if we go up to the surface here, and you can get a much better view of it. Again, I'm not actually sure if you jump out of the space station onto the planet, like if you go there or not, but we're gonna take our rocket. So I went back to the base and I brought our fueling station and our liquid starlight for our fuel. So we have this all fueling up. So if we right click on here, we can go to the guidance computer and get rid of the station 1. And then we want to put in our planet ID chip. So if we go back in here, we can select destination and then we can tell it to go to Mercury, right? So we go select. And if we look at this once again, you can see that the planet is selected for Mercury. So if we go into our rocket and we take off, we should land on the planet, and I believe there's enough fuel to go there and back. That shouldn't be that big of an issue. Then every time we want to go to a new planet, we can just fuel it back up. But once we go down there, we will set our advanced dislocator to that planet, which should take us to that other dimension. Cool. So I think we should be okay to go now. I'm not sure I'm missing anything. Station ID chip, I'll put in our applied energistics so we don't lose that. Anything else that I need? Maybe some blocks. We have plenty of oxygen. You know what? Let's just go and see what we can find out here. If we need to warp back really quick, I'll just set a warp point. We'll just warp back and we'll figure that out. So let's go. All right, guys. So here we are, trying to get down to the correct Y level here so we can land. It keeps jumping us up to 1,000 for some reason. It says it's Volcanic Island as the biome. And if we're looking at the mini map, it looks like we might be in the middle of a lava lake, so that'll be pretty fun. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're gonna do about saving our rocket. I guess we'll have to figure that out when we get down here. Hopefully it lands us on actually something solid. I don't think I can adjust the position of where the rocket lands. Oh, there be Durgans. Okay. Hopefully we're not landing in a lava pool. Okay, we didn't. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to close out of that. Waypoint, new rocket, just so I know where this thing is. And we'll get off our rocket. Oh yeah, that Durgan already knows about me. Our rocket's on fire. Hopefully everything's going to be fine. Okay, I guess we're going to be fighting this dragon real quick. Oh, right. I forgot. This is super easy since we have Draconic Evolution, huh? Oh boy. What a joke. Oh no, my rocket's taking off without me. Okay. Okay. Well, what we really need to do, since our rocket is taking off without us, we're here on this planet, and we can warp back to... Man, that would really... Like, what would you do if you didn't have a way to warp back? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and set a warp point here. Delete this one. How do I remove? Remove. I would set that test one just to make sure we warp to the same space station one when we got to Mars. I'm sorry, Mercury. So let's add new. We'll call this Mercury. Commit. Lock it. Cool. So I'm guessing my rocket's going to land back up on my space station. I really hope so. Otherwise, we're just going to have to build another one, which isn't that huge of an issue. So I guess we'll go ahead and disassemble this dragon here and get our heart. Right, we got a heart? Yeah, fire dragon heart. We ended up with a stage 3 dragon skull. Not so bad. Okay, so we are here specifically for one item. And that is the glowstone clathrate stuff, I believe. What is this? Oh, this is the... Oh, right, there's treasure chests and stuff, right? Manuscripts. Okay, so nothing really. Yeah, looks like we got pyrotheum here if we want to collect that stuff. All right, well, anyway, let's go into our bag. We want to grab our digital miner. I'm pretty sure we can silk touch this stuff. I hope we can anyway. And then we'll also grab out of the bag our flex point. A little bit of lag. Okay. So bounding block, yeah, that should be fine. My network. Okay, so if we come into here, the configuration, we want to do a new filter, and we want to find thermal, what is it called? Glowstone, this stuff, the energized clathrate, I think. Yeah. Ore clathrate glowstone. So if we do ore dictionary, do ore, oh, it says it right at the bottom of the tooltip, doesn't it? Or clathrate. Oh, come on. What is it doing? Or, oh my goodness. I'm trying to type and it's like kicking me out of everything. What is it doing? Or glowstone, or was it or clathrate glowstone? Was that what it was? I think so. Okay, so I typed it right. We'll click save. Let's go back when we do start. Oh boy. So we're finding a bunch of nether draconium ore. That's actually not what we want. So let's stop. We will reset configuration. Let's get that out of here. Delete that one. We'll delete ruby and we'll delete the sapphire. All right, let's try this again. Start. Ooh, so it's not finding any of it, but that says that it generates here, right? Mercury. Between these different Y levels, well, maybe there's just none in this general area. So we're going to have to move around and keep seeing if we can find it. So let me go ahead and do that and see if we can find some of the glowstone. All right, guys. So two things. I wasn't able to find it with the digital miner for whatever reason, but I can see it here just by digging straight down pretty much by where a rocket was. And after going around for a little while and coming back, our rocket is in fact back here. I'm not sure how it came back, but it came back. So that's kind of nice. So we want to set up our oh my goodness, all my buttons are messed up again, isn't it? So the controls for Draconic, that is, we want to change numpad 7. Okay. Not sure why it's on numpad 7, but it is. So there it is. Okay, so we want to change this thing. We want to put Silk Touch on, because I'm pretty sure if you mine it, you get, well, I'm not sure now that I'm thinking about it. If you mine it with Silk Touch, you get the block, but I think you have to mine it with Fortune in order to get the Clathrate stuff, right? So maybe we do want that off. We want Fortune on. So if we look at this thing, it says Looting, Reaper, Fortune, Sharpness. Okay, we should be good. Also, we want to set this thing to like be crazy. Dig depth, we want Big Boy, 11. And we want the dig AoE to be 11. So we'll be doing 11 by 11 by 11. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So we ended up collecting some of the Enigmatica Clathrate. That's what we're looking for. That's perfect. And that glowstone stuff is just going to keep going all the way up. Yep, until it hits the skybox, I guess. Cool. So we can find this stuff not too bad. Yeah, a lot. Oh man, it generates in pretty big chunks. I wonder why I wasn't able to find this stuff before, like using the digital miner. I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, and we're dropping these little orb things here. Oh, that's cool. When you look at them, it tells you what's in it. That must be fairly new, because I don't recall ever seeing that before. Okay, well, let me just go ahead and start putting all this stuff in our applied logistics system. Yeah, too many things on the ground here. We definitely need to get rid of it all. All right, guys, here we are going back to our space station. I did put the space station ID chip back in our rocket, and then we took off again. So yeah, the rocket going to Mercury and back used up quite a bit of fuel, and even the weirdness where it just took off by itself and then re-landed back there. Yeah, we didn't use too much fuel here. I'm not sure what that was all about. But anyway, that is pretty cool. So I can grab our station ID chip out of there and our planet ID chip. We can put those all back into our applied logistics system for safe keeping. Very good. I do want to get the linker though, so we can link this thing. Every time the rocket leaves and comes back, you have to re-link it in order to fuel it back up if you want to do it this way. Okay, so yeah, we are currently fueling back up and we should be ready to go for our next destination, which we won't be able to do today. But yeah, we did get in a decent amount of this Enigmatica Clathrate. So I think next episode we will be heading off to another planet, checking that out. I feel like it's going to be pretty much repetitive going to these other planets, but you know, it's definitely something that we need to do in order to proceed. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.